wherever you find yourself, and there is this culture that limits your growth, that place is not worth staying. What you feed grows. If I look at your life and all I see is cynicism, if I look at your life and all I see is failure, and all I see is laziness, if I look at your relationships and all I see is failed relationship upon failed relationship, then what I come to understand is either you or your partner, or in conjunction with together, you have not fed that relationship. Because take this principle, whatever you feed grows, and what you don't feed dies. So if you have a relationship and you guys are not feeding it, trust me, that relationship is going to die naturally. So many people's relationships are dying not because of what one person did or what the other did. No, it's because basically they have not fed that relationship. And guess what? If we have one person feeding that relationship, and do not forget what Allah says, that one person does not have enough capacity to feed everything at the same time. That is why a person would feed a relationship with all his heart, and if the other is not feeding it, the person end up failing. Why? Because he is not able to sufficiently feed that relationship. Now, the food of relationships are easy and known. Now, you just have to care about the relationship. Feeding is just caring. If you have a relationship and you want to feed it, all you have to do is to care about the survival of that relationship. Show caring, okay? Discharge your responsibility, okay? Make the intention that you want this to work. Be with both foot in there, not one foot in, one foot out, as everyone does today. And they say this is an insurance. No, this is an insecurity. Show all this love. And that is how you feed a relationship, with truth, sincerity, and communication, and care and love. If you feed this relationship much, I promise you this relationship would live because you are feeding it. But guess what happens if you stop to feed that relationship? It dies, because the basic life principle dictates that what you don't feed dies. Now, this is supposed to be simple, but not all simple things are easy. But Allah would always make things easy for those who want things to be easy for them. Learn. Find people who would help you feed it. This is why it's dangerous to keep company of people who are against your ideas. That's why it's so dangerous to keep company of people who would not help you feed your ideas, who will not help you feed your growth and your journey. I have so many people who are complaining about my husband not supporting my idea, and most marriages, most relationships die because one simply decides not to help the other one grow. And naturally, because you don't help him feed his future, feed his life, he leaves you, because what you don't feed will die. So if you have any business idea, as I would do, I would cut off any company that will not help that idea, that business grow. It is very dangerous to keep a company of a person who would not feed your growth, who would not assist you in growth. Now, this is an interesting thing I want you to consider. Life is all about growth. It doesn't matter what you do. It's two things. It's either you are growing or you are dying. There is no middle way here. There is no middle way that you may say, I'm neutral. You can't be neutral. In a matter of life and death in life, there is no neutrality. Now you may say, oh, I'm not affiliated to this political party. I'm not affiliated to this group of people. And that is fine. In life, you can choose. You can stay in between two ideas. But the idea of life and death, you can't stay in between. It is either you're living, it's either you are growing, or you are dying. You can't stop growth and stay there for the rest of your life. The moment you stop growing, I want to put it to you that you are dying. So you have to be very careful of anybody who would not contribute to your growth. Now look at the human body system, the way Allah designed it. There is always constant flow of blood, nutrients, always calling for nutrients. What happens when you stop feeding this body the nutrients it requires? I believe in a couple of days you will die. What happens if the brain stop receiving the blood from the system and it stop receiving oxygen? Slowly it will die. Now, Allah has made it so imperative that the system would always have to receive its nutrients. Glucose, for example, is so necessary in the body system that even if you don't consume sugar, the body would have to manufacture glucose, a form of sugar, from its own system, because survival is very important. Growth, development is very important. That's why you have to be very careful keeping any company that will not allow you to grow. It could be a relationship, a person who has professed love to you. It could be a spouse. Yeah. It could be a friend. It could be a colleague. It could even be a businessman. It could be your boss. It could be a company. Wherever you find yourself, and there is this culture that limits your growth, that place is not worth staying, because anything that cuts you off from growth is in essence killing you, because there is no middle ground between living and dying. If you are not growing, if you are not living, you are dying. That is the way it is.